Morning all and welcome back once again to I Like Watches Too. It's one of those videos where I just plonk myself in front of the camera and have a little bit of a waffle. I really do enjoy making these videos, I've got to say, although I wish my chair wasn't quite so squeaky. I have to sit on the edge to stop it squeaking. I might have to think about changing this chair, I think, especially if I'm going to keep making videos like this, and by all accounts you guys seem to be enjoying them, so yeah, I thought I'd make another one. It's Sunday morning. Oh man, the daughter wants a new bed. She wants one of those beds that's sort of elevated and has a little bit of a sort of empty space underneath. Yeah, it's not perfect for us though, because the room upstairs is a converted loft, and so we've got sort of angled a pitched roof. So yeah, if we get it one and it's too high, every morning she's going to sit up in bed and smack her head on the ceiling. Yeah, and the wife and the daughter were getting into heated discussions about this and dragging me into it, and so I thought, you know, I'm out. I'm trying to help, but I'm obviously making things worse, so I'm going to go and talk to you guys. What am I talking about today? San Martin have set up a new watch brand. Did you know that? I didn't know that, not until a week or two ago, when someone reached out to me and said, I'm from San Martin and I'm from a new sort of sister company, a company set up under the San Martin umbrella. We are going to be making luxury original design watches. We would love for you to review our first model, and I've got it here. They're not going to be selling these watches on AliExpress. Yeah, a lot of us have been saying for a while now, San Martin should consider perhaps turning into a proper, fully fledged micro brand. And I even discussed this with someone from San Martin, discussed the possibility of potentially coming away from AliExpress and just becoming, you know, like a proper website only micro brand. But I don't think they've got any plans to do that for San Martin. It's far too well established on AliExpress. They've got a lot of followers, I think 6 figures, over 100,000 followers on AliExpress, and they're obviously enjoying a very rich vein of form at the moment. They produce homage watches. A lot of their watches are, I'm going to be waffling a lot and going off on all sorts of tangents in this video because that's what I tend to do with these videos. A lot of their watches are now not really accurate homages or copies, are they? They're sort of loosely based on other watches, and I think that is making them even more popular. I've got to say though, I'm enjoying this transition that that San Martin seems to be enjoying on YouTube. Have you noticed that there have been a number of reviewers that in the past may not have embraced AliExpress watches? In fact, I've seen some really quite critical videos and titles on San Martin watches. One was one man's piece of shit watch is another man's treasure or something, and it was a picture of a San Martin. I tried to find that video. I don't know if they've changed the title or just removed the video because perhaps they got so much heat. But yeah, San Martin has come under fire from a certain caliber of watch reviewer, people that just don't seem to acknowledge or want to acknowledge just how good some Chinese-made watches are. Let's not forget, a lot of Swiss-made watches have their steelwork done in the same factories that are making the watches that we find on AliExpress. There's no wonder AliExpress watches are so good. But yes, I have seen now a number of reviewers do a bit of a 180 when it comes to San Martin, and they're acknowledging just how bloody good they are, which is nice to see. Makes me feel good because I've been championing San Martin watches for many years. So much so that people say, oh, you know, you work for San Martin. I get a lot of criticism for it. But the reality is they just make unbelievable watches, incredible value for money. Their build quality is off the charts, and we're now seeing other reviewers that perhaps would champion brands like Timex and Casio all the time, and they're finally now starting to acknowledge just how bloody good San Martin watches are. And there's other brands on AliExpress making, you know, very, very good watches as well. But anyway, let me get back to the original point. San Martin, so good that we'd love to see them be, you know, a proper micro brand, or some of us would. I think that would push the prices up mine. But instead of converting to a sort of independent micro brand, they've just made another brand, a sub brand, which is, I think, or they're going to try to make a proper fully fledged micro brand. It's all sounding pretty good, isn't it? There is a problem though. The first problem, the brand name. As soon as they told me the brand name, I went straight back to them. I went, oh, I think that might be a problem. It's Jiangun, Jianghun. It does mean something. I've seen it spelt two words, Jian and then Jiang and then Hun, or one word, Jianghun. The logo is also interesting. I'd love to see just a JH on the dial, actually. I think that would be better. I did ask them if there was any way they would consider a rebrand, because if they want to sell watches to people in the West, the US, Europe, places like that, a lot of people don't really respond. Sorry, I need to sneeze 1 second. Oh, that's better. A lot of people don't respond too well to these sort of Chinese sounding brand names. And so, yes, I just put it to them and they said, unfortunately not. Understandably, they're proud of what they're doing. I think they should be proud of what they've achieved with San Martin. And they want to, I guess, enjoy, you know, their Chinese history, their Chinese, I don't know what the phrase is really, but just the fact that they are a Chinese brand, and that to some degree is to be applauded. I just think it's going to cost them sales. I just think, yeah, people are less likely. Some people are less likely to buy their watches if they just changed it to JH on the dial, for example, and left the brand name as Jiangun. It might not be a problem, but yeah, that is the first problem I see with what they're embarking on. The second problem could potentially be the designs. I think their strength is in making watches that look similar-ish to, you know, well-known watches like San Martin do these days, and not truly original designs. To pull off a truly original design is very, very difficult, and I think more often than not it leads to failure, not as many sales. And don't forget, San Martin sort of started out making only original designs, and they didn't sell. You may not even be aware of this, but a lot of their watches at the very beginning were just really strongly designed watches that, you know, were just too much. I think if you are a very expensive and very exclusive Swiss brand, you can get away with wearing or with producing monstrosities, and people rave about it because, oh, Swiss, oh, you know, it's 150 million pounds. Of course it's amazing. But if you're a fairly new brand on AliExpress and you're producing these rather unusual looking watches, you know, a lot of people think they're hideous. And those sorts of watches aren't my thing, I must admit. But then I don't like the expensive ones from Switzerland either. So, you know, I mean, this one it's okay. I mean, it's interesting. I'm going to review it, obviously. So make sure you head over to my main channel in the future, hit the bell notifications icon so you don't miss out on my uploads. Yes, it's definitely original. It's got a pilot's crown. It's got a really interesting, I wouldn't even call it a bezel. It reminds me a little bit of the Sega design Blue Planet, I think it was called. It looks like a pebble. You know, it's very pebble-esque, isn't it? I mean, the dial's pretty cool. It's a sandwich dial. You've got these really interesting cutouts. The day loom on this thing is unbelievable. Yes, it's interesting. And so I'm looking forward to reviewing it. I'm also looking forward to seeing what else they make. I just hope they get it right. I do, because they, like San Martin, are going to produce beautifully made watches, and so that would be a waste if they were to then make beautifully made watches that no one wants to buy. So I want them to succeed, because I just know, quality is not going to be an issue, and that is quite often what is called into question when you're buying watches from AliExpress or from Chinese watch brands, and that will not be an issue here. So if they can get the designs right, if they can get the branding right, just make a few changes, I think they could do very well. But if they don't, I think they might struggle a little bit.